So there seem to be a freaking surprising amount of comedians that lack moral understanding of what it means to not do anything. What was that sentence that came out of my mouth? I think you know what I'm talking about. A bunch of comedians went and did shows in Saudi Arabia for Saudi Arabian royalty. A lot of people see this as crazy because that place is crazy. And to them I say, yeah, I agree. But they all got a bunch of money out of it and had like a really good time. So it's okay. I think everybody, all the onlookers kind of understand that this is a terrible thing. And a lot of these names are massive names in comedy that everyone knows. So you have to wonder why all these people in comedy that are so popular, that seem to have all these strong, good-oriented moral standings, why they accept it and they're doing these shows in Saudi Arabia. Why is this happening? Why? Is everyone actually just a greedy To explain this phenomenon, I'm going to bring up a little thing I'm going to call selective intelligence. Selective intelligence is a term that I came up with just now to describe what I think is going on here. Human beings are smart, obviously. Smartest creatures on the planet, sort of, maybe. Some people say like dolphins and mice are smarter or something, which we all know isn't true, but maybe is. I don't know. Intelligence is complicated, is hard to understand, but humans are really smart. But the way humans' intelligence work is usually hyper-specific. Is how our society works. People get jobs in specialized fields and get good at that thing. It's a thing that happens a lot with people where their intelligence is very focused on the thing that they are doing that matters the most to them or is the most influential over their life. It's a common phenomenon. Pretty much everybody experiences it. You can be really good at one thing and really intelligent, and yet somehow also a complete idiot about unrelated things. It happens to everybody. Except for me, I'm smart about everything. I'm just kidding. This is a common thing. You can have extremely talented, capable, intelligent people who just completely flounder and have stupid takes and do stupid things all the time. What you have here with comedians are you have people who are really, really smart and witty when it comes to being funny or getting money or finding success in comedy. And I think what happens is a lot of the time, comedians end up taking good moral standings on various things because they know that will help them do better, be funnier, find more success, make more money. So a lot of times, people who hyper specialize in comedy will have good moral takes because they know that it helps them. It's not even like they're thinking about what actually matters or actually believe or disbelieve the things they say or do. They just kind of, being minds wired for comedy, they just move their comedy in a direction that helps them generally, and that's generally towards what their audience, the people, care about. And what we have here is an interesting dichotomy. These comedians have gotten so much success out of being morally in the right and funny. And now what they do is they have this opportunity for something really interesting and unique that makes a lot of money that puts them pretty much morally in the wrong. And suddenly you see this hyper-specialization, this hyper-fixation in their intelligence at work. They take the opportunity because what they care about is the success, the money, the opportunity. And that's what they see. And their morality revolves around that. And their understanding of the situation revolves around that. They will skew the information in the way that favors them because they're getting bags from this event. They get a unique, cool experience from this event. They get an audience that loves them from this event. This is great for a comedian. So what you have is you get to see people who do actually have moral intelligence understanding the situation and dealing with it more reasonably, turning it down or approaching it in a rational way. And then you see the people who don't have very high moral IQs and are just good at being funny, taking advantage of this situation and trying to spin it in their favor, even though everybody can see that it's a stupid thing to do and morally definitely not good. So yeah, isn't that fucking cool? That's why these comedians seem to have done a complete 180 on everything they believe. It's because what they believe is dependent on what their audience wants them to say. Their morals revolve around what's going to get them good success. Some of them have strong, intelligent morals. Others don't and only care about being funny and making money. So, yeah, maybe some of these comedians that went to these shows, they are a little bit more questionable than you thought they were initially. I'm not saying start hating on all these comedians. I mean, maybe you still enjoy them. Maybe they aren't still entirely bad people. This is certainly points against their favor, but it's not as though you can fully extrapolate that these are bad people. They are still comedians. They are still funny. Maybe they really need the money or they just had a lapse in judgment. You know, people make mistakes. So you can still like these comedians, but it's certainly something to think about, the way this situation has panned out for a lot of these people and why they are there is certainly something to think about. And always look at people, the cool, famous, exciting people online, the funny ones, the actors, the comedians, the politicians, everyone you see. Always take them with a grain of salt because everyone is selectively intelligent. And a lot of the time, their intelligence takes a hit in the morality department. In order for them to be so capable at the thing they are capable of, they are potentially taking hits in other areas of intelligence, and that often includes morality. Look for these signs because these are the things that matter the most, especially in politicians. There's a lot of politics going around where it's hard to tell who's right and who's wrong. You need to look for the moral consistencies. That's what matters the most, especially in your politicians and your friends, and maybe a little bit in comedians. I mean, comedians are just funny. That's the whole point. So maybe it's not a huge deal if they're imperfect. But friends, politicians, people who influence your opinions and perspectives on things. Keep track of this intelligent, selective brains that humans have, and whether or not their morality is something with its own intelligence standard. Okay, I've rambled on about this for too long. Yeah, that's all. I make a video every week. Okay, come back for more. Like and subscribe. Make a video every week. Is maybe depending on how busy I am. And that's it. Farewell, everyone. It was nice to see you here. I'll see you next week.